Hey. So, I don't know what's happening with the connection. I don't know. Yesterday I did a live reading for an hour. I was on for 58 minutes and it never showed up live in the group. Well, it did for like the first few minutes and then it cut out. And I just a minute ago went live in the group and I couldn't get it to show up in the group. And then, so I tried it again from my laptop and it wouldn't record me. It wouldn't work. So here we are again. I'm using my phone this time. Yeah, something's up with Facebook. It doesn't want to work on the computer. It doesn't want to let me do a Facebook Live. It looks like I am live right now, but my phone's telling me I have a slow connection. I don't know what's happening. I have 2 internet providers so that this doesn't happen. I don't understand what the whole major malfunction is. I really don't. It's annoying. And I seriously hope that this continues to record, because I don't know how else to do it if I can't do a Facebook Live here in the group. I guess I would have to pre-record it and then upload it, but I don't know. I'm going to give it a try. If you're joining me live, please say hi. Let me know that you're here so I can connect with you, so that I know that you can see me, hear me, and that I'm not just imagining that I'm live in this group for an hour and then I'm not, and then it doesn't show up. It's super frustrating. Yesterday I kind of laughed about it because I was just talking about like how when things don't go your way and you get frustrated, and like for some of us it's a pattern, you know, and those are some of the subconscious things that we're trying to stop ourselves from doing, right, so that we can manifest the kind of life that we want. So let me know if you can see me, hear me. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to sink into myself and just connect here for a moment, and then we'll do our full moon reading. Sometimes I guess things just have to go the way they go, and we don't always know the reason why. I'm going to grab a deck. I got a new deck of cards around Christmas time that were given to me. And this person's not my favorite, but I like the deck. So we could go through this deck as well if you guys want me to pull personal cards after the reading. So yeah, it's frustrating because, like I said, I did a whole reading yesterday and it didn't record. So I pulled new cards today, and on the live that I just started that didn't record. So this is my 4th try doing this reading. I hope that you can see me, hear me. I see that there's a couple people here, or please say hi, leave a comment, share this with someone if you like. I will upload a link to that'll be shareable to the group. I've been trying to do these on my personal, not my personal page, on my business page, and then stream them into the group, but I can't even get the stream to work in the group, let alone have it streamed from somewhere else. So it's just not working out today. So yeah, anyway, let's get into the reading. Let me just relax myself for a second here and just tune in all the frustration around tech and things not doing what they're supposed to do. I'm just gonna hand it over. I'm just gonna sacrifice all of that. Clearing the energy a little bit with the sound of the rain stick, which is more like a rattle. So we have a full moon in Leo, the wolf moon. It was the 25th, and technology has been fighting me. But I've pulled some cards for us. So I did want to talk for a moment about on January 20th, how Pluto moved into Aquarius. And just a little bit about astrology and about how I am not an astrologer, but they are saying that this is the age of Aquarius that people have been singing about for 50 years plus. And that no one that's alive for this Pluto in Aquarius was alive during the last Pluto in Aquarius, and that no one that's alive now for this Pluto in Aquarius will be alive during the next one. And how Pluto is so far away, but it makes such a big impact on everything in our lives in a very what is the word for it? I want to say occult way, right? It's in the background, and it's not obviously making waves like per se, like say the moon would be, but it's really an intense influence on us astrologically. And I'm just looking at some notes that I wrote because I'm not an astrologer, but they point out that Pluto is a planet that packs a serious punch, and that it helps us to clear away dead weight from our personal and collective lives. It makes us face our shadows in many ways. It represents death and destruction and the underworld. And so this idea that Pluto moving into Aquarius really is going to shift the way we manifest, that we can manifest in the world, right? And my intuitive feeling is that the way in which it will influence the way we manifest is really us getting in touch with our feelings and really being able to feel into the feeling of what you're going to feel like when you get your manifestation. So what is that vision of the thing when you have it and it's done? When everything is exactly how you want it to be, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What will you feel like then? What will be the traits that you have? And how can you step into that now? How can you feel that more every day now? How can you bring more of that essence into your daily life? And just so I think it's fascinating because Pluto is also about technology, about politics, and it's really the last time that we had a Pluto of Pluto in Aquarius, we had the American Revolution and the French Revolution. And so this is revolutionary energy. This is an energy that challenges us to look at outdated structures and to look at our world and look at its ability to be sustainable for us. Are we building a sustainable future for those who come next? Is it even sustainable now, the way that we're living in it? And I think that a lot of us in our own ways are moving back towards our own version of sustainability and not relying on the system. But this is going to come up collectively, and it already has been coming up collectively, obviously. But it's fascinating that we are going to have Pluto in this energy for the next 21 years. So it'll be, Pluto will be in Aquarius for this month, and then it goes back to Capricorn, I believe, for a month, and then it shifts into retrograde in May, and then on June 11th it'll go back into Capricorn. And so we're going back and forth, and we have been last year as well, going in and out of Pluto in Aquarius. But at some point this year it will click into place and stay for 21 years. And it's really supposed to have this amazing effect on our reality, on the way we see the world, on the way that we view the systems that we're building, and how we're moving towards autonomy and sovereignty and freedom, and how we want to build sustainable systems. And it's really going to, like I said, be showing us our collective shadows even more so, to the extent where I am not a fear monger, but I do believe that an event similar to a pandemic will happen, not where it involves sickness. I don't believe that it's going to involve losing people, loss on that level, at least not worldwide. But I do, however, think that things are going to happen to make us question the systems that we're relying on, and how quickly we need to start to get into a place where we can start to maintain our own sovereignty, and provide for ourselves in a very independent way. And so I think that things are going to start moving along more quickly along this path of growth, and that it's a good thing, even if it may seem at times as though it's not. It's all a period of growth. It's like the collective dark night of the soul that we've been going through, and we're going to be continuing to go through. But I do think that generally throughout 2024, you'll start to see people moving away from the lie of separation and moving more towards a state of oneness, and just of thinking from a state of abundance, like this mindset coming from a state of oneness and from abundance, and knowing that, like, really when it comes down to it, all the universe provides, right? And that we have everything that we really need. And if it doesn't show up for us immediately, then it's something that typically can either be done without, which I know that's less comfortable than we like to live with, or it can be found in nature, you know? And so this is really like a reckoning that we are coming to as a collective and individually, what we can and can't live with, what we can and can't live without, how we want to build our systems, and how we want to live, and being in, having it be in a more sustainable way, becoming more independent, and less reliant on big government for things as well. And so these are fascinating times. And if these are truly the times that the people have been singing about for 50, 70 years, or however long it's been, since the 60s, about the age of Aquarius, then that tells us right there how impactful the next 21 years is going to be on our lives. We probably won't be able to recognize ourselves in 21 years. And to be flat honest with you, I barely recognize myself from a year ago. It's amazing the amount of growth that we are witnessing in such a short amount of time. I've never experienced feeling like that. Not even when I got sober for the first time in 10 years and I sat with myself and I got clear and clarity. I didn't even witness that same amount of growth then, in that feeling, in that moment there, as I did in the last year. It's incredible how things are speeding up. It's like Matt Kahn is calling it the quickening, where it's almost as if we are merging timelines or quantum leaping in a way. And I think that in a very visceral and very real way, this might be happening, you know, because it certainly feels like that. We don't live in the linear reality that we thought we lived in. And it's starting to become really apparent that time is not linear. Actually, time doesn't even exist. And that, like, all things really are happening now. And I think it's becoming more and more apparent that that the multiverse theory is likely, more likely than not, that every version of you that could possibly exist is existing right now in this moment. And so now it becomes about how we can shift to that desired timeline, how we can shift to that desired version of ourselves, how we can shift from this reality to the reality that we really, really want to be living in, and how we can align ourselves to that. And it's exciting, and I'm like really excited about it. I hope you guys are too, and I hope that you guys are doing well, that everything's going well for you guys. I have a lot of exciting things going on. I just started a new program called Intentional Reality Creator, and I'm so excited about it. I sent out my first 2 emails. So it's an email course where you get short videos, an email, like a lesson, a written lesson, and some practices, worksheets, things like that, to really build the foundations and understand the foundation of a quantum manifestation practice, and then the process as well. And then there's troubleshooting, and there's one-on-one hand-holding to work through the transformational processes and the subconscious programming together. Most of us, let's be honest, we know that these are things we should do, and we might even have a great guide to do it, but most of us don't sit down and do it ourselves. We really don't, unless someone holds our hand and sits with us. And so that's what I'm trying to offer. That, and helping to shift through and to release the blocks that come up along the way and the resistance that comes up along the way on the manifestation journey, because that's very real and we all go through it. And very few of us, well, we all can eventually get to that point where we can see our own blind spots, but it takes a really long time. And so it's a real quantum leap in your manifestation journey to have someone to help you to see your own blind spots. You know, that's basically why I love coaching so much, because I think that it really quantum leaps our ability to see the things that we're too close to see for ourselves, and to really then be able to speed up that manifestation process. And having someone else to help you to let go is really important as well. That's probably the hardest part of it all, right? We can visualize, we can do all the things, but the hardest part is letting go of the outcome, right? If you want something bad enough to do all the hard things to get what you want, then it's usually really hard to then sit there and have that moment where it's like, I would still really love to have that, but I don't need it to be happy. And that's usually when the manifestation shows up in real life, from my experience. So let's get into our reading. I'm babbling. Our reading this is how they normally go. We get a general card, and the general card tells us the situation right now, our collective situation. And our collective situation is typically a challenge, and it's also a gift. So just like the challenges that come up in our everyday lives, they're also an opportunity for growth. And we have the Queen of Swords. We picked the Queen of Swords, and she is representing to us unbiased decision making. She is a thought leader. She's a wise and logical counselor. She's honest, and has high integrity. She's someone who we can trust and we can lean on. She's direct, and she's a truth seeker. She emulates a lot of the qualities that we love in our leaders, right? But sometimes she can be sharp in her communication, and sometimes it can feel cold because she tells people like it is. She doesn't sugarcoat it. She's going to tell you the things that most people aren't going to tell you. And she's reminding us to use our words wisely and to not fill up our messages with a bunch of fluff. People don't need that anymore. People really aren't in as much need of something that keeps them anchored in. They're really more in need of the quick truth. And giving people the direct message is really going to be benefiting us, especially those of us who share our message in the future. And so she's asking us to be honest in our relationships with our clients, our relationships with our friends and family, our significant others, our relationships with ourselves. This is about honesty and truth. And it's about communicating things that are really difficult for others to hear. We're in a place where it may not be fun to say the thing. We're not sure how people are going to react. Of course, we want people to love us and accept us, but they're going to love you more when you tell them the truth, even if it's a hard truth to hear, because this is how we're growing. People pleasing is not going to be part of this new paradigm. Kindness will be, and compassion will be, but people pleasing will not be. And so allowing others to sit in their shadow and allowing others to sit in an illusion is not benefiting us or them any longer. And so this is really learning how to dive deeply into your own ability for empathy and compassion, and to help people with learning the tactfulness and the vocabulary and the professional skills to tell people what they really need to hear in a way that's really compassionate and loving and serving, that actually serves them. And this is about seeking wisdom. This is about speaking wisdom. And if you've studied the wise sages, you'll understand that they actually speak less, and that is more. If they don't think that it's worth saying to someone, or that they're ready for a message, they don't speak it. If they don't think that it's wise to speak, they're comfortable remaining silent. Sometimes people need to find their own wisdom on their own. And so maybe rather than giving people the knowledge that they're asking for, it's my mission. I can tell you this theme is coming up for me, and as above, so below, as within, so without. I'm sure that you are also feeling it in a sense where it's kind of time to help others to start to hear their own inner wisdom rather than, and of course that goes with your message as well. That's something that you speak through your messaging, and it's not that I'm saying to be quiet, but to start getting curious and asking them questions, right? Asking them questions from a place of genuine curiosity, and then holding them in a space, in a sacred space where they know that they're not judged and they're accepted and they're loved. People need love and acceptance now more than anything, and they need their own inner wisdom more than anything. And so I feel like, along with the lie of separation and that paradigm of being separate from divinity, nature, each other, ourselves, we're really moving into this age without the gurus, where we are each our own guru. And for me, this is a time where I'm moving towards learning how to show others how to seek their own wisdom, rather than always giving information, or always giving advice, or always giving suggestions. Those are great too, but I'm learning how to hold that space, and it's hard. It's hard, especially for someone who's always used to responding. It's an addiction, like I spoke about yesterday. These natural frequencies, these natural reactions that we have towards outside stimulus, towards our conversations with others, even our inner reactions to things that we see in the outside world, or even our own thoughts, are all programmed. We're so used to it. They're deep patterns. And so it's really time to start repatterning that for ourselves, and practicing being the person that we want to be. You are who you practice to be. And if you practice being the next best version of yourself, it'll be that much easier to step into the next best version of yourself. And then every moon, we do full moons and new moons, we pull an archetype card as well. And this is an archetype that is within ourselves, just like the rest of them. They're all archetypes of the human, that are the quantum human, that are within ourselves. They're parts of the human psyche. These are all little aspects of our human journey here. And we use them to either show us what the general energy is and what's happening that we may not see or notice, to give us general themes, to give us guidance, to maybe realize what we should be letting go of, and realizing what maybe we should be leaning into a little bit more, to help us understand ourselves better and each other. And the archetype of this 2-week period between the full moon and the new moon is the 8 of Cups. And The Eight of Cups is walking away from stuff that doesn't serve anymore. This is knowing that it's time to let go, realizing that something no longer serves you, and having the bravery to move away from that stuck energy and to leave that old reality behind to pursue a new one without being afraid of being disappointed, without being afraid of making a decision and regretting it later, right? This is getting rid of that feeling of stuckness and moving into this open and expansive energy of letting go, even of letting go of the desires that we want so badly. This has been a theme as well in my manifestation journey and with my clients lately, that the minute that we let go of that outcome where we're like, I would love to have this and I'm willing to work really hard to get it, but if it doesn't happen in this way, I am perfectly fine without it. I am still happy and joyful and grateful, and I'm still living my life to the fullest. That is when the manifestations pop into the real world. And this is going to, I believe, begin to start happening a lot quicker in the coming 21 years. I think that we'll really start to be able to see our manifestations coming into fruition quicker and quicker. But we have to be willing to learn new skills. We have to be willing to take in new information, to let go of the things that don't serve us. And so this is choosing your sacred dream, especially when you feel disappointed. This is feeling disappointed. And then instead of saying, I'm going to sit here and stomp my feet because I didn't get what I want, this is us being like, okay, what I want doesn't live here. And I'm choosing not to be disappointed anymore. I'm going for my dreams. And I'm not afraid anymore. I'm going to take bold action, even if it means being uncomfortable, even if it means having to learn new things, even if it means having no friggin' idea what happens next or what I'm going to get out of it. Because it's each step that we take on the path that opens up the next step. We're never going to see 4 and 5 steps ahead. This is an unfolding. And it's the idea that you have to take care of yourself and be compassionate with yourself when you feel this way, like you're leaving something behind. You have to allow yourself that grieving process. But remember that if you are a believer in the fact that Creator, Source Energy, moves through every living thing in this world, in this universe, and that it lives through us, then you can relate to the fact that Source Energy wants to live not only through you, but as you. And that's a really profound realization. It's like, the Creator of all beings wants to live as me, wants to express as me. Like, I just got the chills. Like, yeah, how do I get out of the way, right? And part of that is letting go of everything that doesn't serve. Pulling up those anchors that are holding us back from taking the next step, from doing the brave thing, from being bold, speaking our truth. You know, there comes a time where we have to accept that some people just aren't for us. They're not going to like what we have to say. They're going to have reactions that probably make us feel uncomfortable. But the only way to get used to that is to allow it to happen. Because I'm telling you, with every enemy that you make, with every person that snickers at you or says that you don't know what you're talking about or whatever it is that you're afraid they might do, which most of the time they actually don't do. We just think they think that. But the ones that do teach you that they're just leading people that are for you to you. They're getting out of the way. They're all moving out of the way and allowing the people that are really meant for you to find you. It's shedding expectations, people, beliefs, guilt, shame, ways of being, daily habits, thoughts, behaviors, all the things that are not serving us anymore. And if you're exhausted and you're confused and you're jumping from thing to thing, then understand that this is a mystical period of intense shifting, and that releasing the old stories will really help you to travel more lightly. So just relax into yourself, be gentle with yourself, and go in the direction of your epic dreams, even if you have to wait for a moment and allow yourself to grieve. Even if you have to wait for a moment and allow yourself some time with your own empathy and compassion and deep love. So, this is a different message than the one yesterday that didn't record, but I think it's along the same lines, and I really am, I feel as if I'm able to get out of the way a lot better lately and allow my higher self to speak through me. And so I hope that you enjoyed the message. If you would like to hear a little bit more about Intentional Reality Creator and the one-on-one mentorship program, please just drop the word quantum in the comments, and we can just talk about how that might or might, you know, whether that fits you and what you're looking for right now. And I'm also working on a new type of coaching, and this type of coaching doesn't have an area of expertise. This type of coaching I call inner wisdom coaching. The person that I'm learning it from calls it insight coaching or pure coaching. And this is holding space and asking the right questions to allow someone else to connect with their own inner wisdom, right? And have their own insights. Because when people come up with their own insights and they have their own aha moments, those are far more powerful than anything anyone could tell them to do. And so I'm practicing, because it's not an easy thing for me to approach it in a much different way. It's the entire opposite way of coaching and approaching coaching conversations than I'm used to doing. And so it's new for me. So if anyone would like the gift of a session with me, please just comment the word session and we'll get set up so you can help me practice, and I'll be doing what I love, and we can do each other a favor, and who knows, maybe we could have a breakthrough together, and it'll be a beautiful thing. So you never know. Either way, we could connect and get to know one another a little better, and we'll at least get to have some fun together out of it. So I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. And you'll be seeing me a lot more as soon as I get the stupid internet to record for me on the computer again. I'm going to start doing some more lives in the group. But I will pop in again over the weekend. I hope you guys have a great Friday, and I'll see you soon.